Well, Jason, for anyone that wasn't with us at the top of our show, sounds like you've had a pretty busy day, even though relatively quiet around Maine, most of this afternoon, but a lot of things to keeping you busy.
Yeah, some isolated thunderstorms. There's one right now over Cape Elizabeth, heading out to Peaks Island and over towards, obviously, the islands, so watch out for that. But webcam 95 Biddeford, all clear there. That cell just headed up north and east. Fall is on hold, though. September normally brings in cooler, drier air. Not so far this year. Staying soupy for days, especially the southern coast right now. Torrential downpours expected tomorrow, and then tracking Hurricane Lee. The latest, all eyes on that for us here. And we just lost the power, it looks like, but on a couple monitors, that's a lightning strike that came in, so forgive us here. We're dealing with some severe weather. Looks like, in my look, that's not severe, but that definitely a lightning bolt coming down. So on cue, as Sam pointed out, let's take a look at that cell. Have it loaded in there. A little bolt of lightning came through. Cape Elizabeth right now under the gun, getting hammered with a bunch of lightning bolts here. Also offshore, looks like just south of the islands there, but that is a big-time thunderstorm. Non-severe, but still clearly here, as I saw that screen flicker for us, that means it has a bunch of lightning with it. Now, the front, which is basically the trigger mechanism for all of this, is a stationary boundary draped across the east coast. High pressure to our south is pumping in all that heat and humidity, and that's why you have the wind out of the south along southern Maine, but northern Maine was getting a northerly breeze, and that's why you see temperatures 50s north and 60s and 70s to the south. Now, on Sunday, the rain will be on and off. Not an all-day washout, but definitely seeing rain here up in Caribou at 5 o'clock, and also that wind coming up from the south, bringing that moisture back in. Let's get to Lee. It's been downgraded from a 5, 4, 3 down to a 2, but even with it being a 2, it's going to jump back up to a 3 and even a 4 on Monday, as it's going to get to much more favorable weather conditions. So it'll be southwest of Bermuda next week. What I know is indirect impacts expected with surf and rip currents. What I don't know is that it still could be a hit. Can't rule out rain and wind here. The track of that storm is crucial. And right now the ensemble track, which basically all these spaghetti plots here, take it up the east coast. I'm concerned here about a cluster that's going to be approaching New England. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, don't worry about it just yet, but definitely keep an eye on it. Wind out of the east at 5 knots. That is for tomorrow. Very light breeze. Next 3 days has the temperature coming out of the 80s and 90s to the 70s. It'll be soupy. There'll be on and off rain, as you can see here, forecast inland. But all in all, humidity still around here, especially I think at the coastline where we'll have that humidity. But up north, we're going to see a surge, more of humidity, and then we dry out before things potentially get stormy again with the hurricane nearby. We'll have to wait and see how close it gets to us.
Yeah, Jason, I know you said, in between our shows that still some time to iron out what the effects will be here in Maine.
Yeah, and there's an article on newscentermaine.com on the app talking in more detail about that.
Also, credit to you for keeping your focus during that thunder. That was pretty crazy here in the studio.
Yeah, good thing we're indoors. That's when thunder roars, go indoors. That's what that's there for.
All right, Jason. Thank you so much.